Welcome back, everyone. We are going through the XLOOKUP series. It is a 5 video series. We have already been through the first part where we discussed the XLOOKUP basics, and now we are going to go for the part 2, which will explain what is exact match, approximate match. We will also understand what is the difference between VLOOKUP and XLOOKUP. Okay, so let's start with a quick recap of XLOOKUP. Now, if you want to know name, department, location, salary, or any details from just the employee code, what you will do, you will use XLOOKUP. Let's quickly go through the basic XLOOKUP formula once. Before that, let me just zoom it in for you guys. XLOOKUP formula, the basic XLOOKUP formula is equals to XLOOKUP bracket start, select the value which our table will look up, comma, from which table it will look up, comma, which value we want. So we want the employee name, bracket closed, and enter. Now let's verify this. Let's go for Ishita. And here you go. Similarly, you can do the whole thing again. Now, here is one thing important which we are going to discuss now. So if I write is equal to X lookup bracket start, do you see these different values here? Lookup array, return array. If not found, match model, search model. So we are going to discuss these three parameters today so that you will understand how XLOOKUP is a lot more versatile and a lot more better than VLOOKUP. Let's start. Now, the very first point, your XLOOKUP can look on the left as well. Let me demonstrate how. So this is the data that we are looking for. We know that it is going to use employee code to search for rest of the things. Now watch what happens. Let me add department here. Now we all know that when we go for VLOOKUP cannot search things on the left. It only search things on the right. If you don't know this, watch my video on VLOOKUP. You will really learn something. Now XLOOKUP is only looking for values from the table. So it can actually look both ways. Comma start, select what we want to search, comma, go back here, table from which it is going to select, and the table from which it is going to get the value. Brackets closed, and here you go. So it can actually search on the left and on the right. If I do the same thing on a VLOOKUP, let's see what happens. Is equal to VLOOKUP, bracket start, employee. Now it needs the whole table on this side. It cannot go on this side. Watch what happens if I do this, comma 2, comma 0. It's not going to give me anything, right? Because the data is not over there. And hence, XLOOKUP is a lot better and a lot versatile in these things. It's fairly new as compared to VLOOKUP, and that makes sense, right? The newer version will always, or the newer formulas will always have advantage over the previous ones. You know what it means, right? You can have your data set in any order. You don't have to worry about that. Your XLOOKUP can still find the value. Now let's deal with something that happens all the time in real world. It happens when the value you are looking for simply does not exist. Let me enter an employee ID that isn't in our database. Let's say EMP12345. Excel is going to give you a hashtag NA. Now, technically, Excel is correct. It is saying, I just couldn't find this value. But if you're creating a report for your manager, a dashboard, or a tracker that other people are going to use, NA doesn't look particularly great. This is where the fourth argument of XLOOKUP becomes very useful. Now look where the formula here is equal to XLOOKUP employee code, searching for the employee code in a table. What is a return table? Now after that, instead of closing, write comma and whatever you want it to write it like this. I'll say employee not found. Here you go. Now, if Excel can't find an employee, it will simply says employee not found. It looks a lot clearer as compared to hashtag NA. Or what if you don't want to write that many words? You just do not want it to show anything. No problems over there as well. Just remove the text and let it be simply like this. Enter. Here you go. It will not give you anything. You wanted to write something else. Say you wanted to write 0. Here you go. Now let's see one more thing. A very interesting point. Let me remove these formulas in that case. Let me rearrange my set one more time. Watch closely what's going to happen right now. Let me write the formula. XLOOKUP. We want employee code from here, comma, employee IDs. Now I want the return value, but I will not select just the employee name. Let me select it all. Bracket closed, enter. Now you see what happened here, right? Let me just give you one employee code. You see what happened here? This way, my XLOOKUP is not just filling the information on the next table. It is giving me information available for this employee code on all the tables available over there. This is called Excel's dynamic array functionality. The formula sits in the very first cell and the result automatically spills in the neighboring cells as well. So instead of creating four separate lookup formulas, we have done the entire thing in just one. Now, if you are someone who has never worked with dynamic arrays before, this might look a little strange to you. I entered one formula, but the Excel populated every cell. This is called a spill. The formula exists only in the first cell. Excel automatically spills the remaining results in the cells next to it. And there is one important thing you need to remember. The cells where the results need to go must be empty. Let me demonstrate. If I type something in one of the cells, you see, if the Excel needs that cell but I type something, I get spill error. So whenever you see a spill error, don't panic. Check whether something is blocking the area where Excel is trying to place results. Remove the obstruction and the formula works again. Now let's move to something slightly more advanced. Until now, we have mostly been looking for an exact match from the employee code. But there's a situation where an exact match isn't what we want. Let's say I have a performance scorecard. 0 is need improvement, 50 is average, 70 is good, and 90 is excellent. Now, what if someone scores 82? There isn't an exact 82 in my table, right? So, what do I want Excel to do? I want it to find the appropriate category based on the value. This is where XLOOKUP's match mode becomes useful. Remember, XLOOKUP has four arguments than the three we have been using. The fifth argument controls the match mode. If I am going to rate someone basis this scorecard, And like I said, if I get 82, what do I take it as? Now, this is something that we have to decide. But after my decision, how will it go? Let's look at it this way. We already have created this sheet where we are looking for employee codes performance scores as well through the spill option, right? Now, here's the performance. Now, if I want the performance score to have a rating, so what do we need? Let me hide these three so that you can check better. So let's see, we'll go equal to XLOOKUP. Now we want to search for the performance score, so we will search this, comma, go to predefined performance bands, select the first table from where it is going to look, comma, what it's going to look for, again, comma, one more comma, minus 1. And let's see how it goes. See, it is giving 79 as good. Because it is below excellent, we have decided that anything, it should go for the last best rating and not the next best rating. And put it as 1, and it will give you the next best rating. So you can predefine it like this. I have always been a strict auditor, so I'll keep it as -1. I just cannot handle that 79 coming to an excellent. And let's test it with another employee. Let's check for Amit. Amit's score is 46. Needs improvement. See, everything changed. And remember, we have only used two formulas, one here and one here. Everything in between is a spill. Now let's look at another really useful feature of XLOOKUP, the wildcard matching. So far, we have been searching for an exact value. But what if I don't know the employee ID and I only know employee's name? Let's say I want to search for an employee by the name Amit. Now, how do I do that? Now, instead of asking, now I don't know what Amit we are talking about, right? There can be different Amits. Now, I want Amit's employee code. How do I do that? I will simply write the wildcard entry. Keep watching and focus either on this area or this area. So I'm going to write my formula, which is equal to XLOOKUP bracket start. Now I will use star here, and I'll explain it to you why. And K2 and another star, and I will explain you why the stars are there. Just bear with me for some time. Comma, where do I have to check? I'll check employee names. And what do I need in return? I need the employee code, comma, not found, so that instead of any, I'll get a better result, comma. Now watch here. I want 2, which is the wild card match. Bracket closed, enter. Now it is giving me the employee code for Amit. Let me explain to you what happened here. Now the star here is the wildcard entry. It's called asterisk. Basically, what it's telling is anything can come before or after the text. So my lookup value becomes anything below before Amit and anything after Amit. But I should focus on Amit. Now let me break down the whole formula for you. I'm asking X lookup to look for anything then the word Amit, anything before or anything after will do. I'm asking it to search the column B and I want to return with the employee ID from column A. And this final two is very important. The final two right here is very important. It tells XLOOKUP to use wildcard matching. So Excel finds Amit Sharma and returns the employee code. This part is incredibly useful when you're working with employee names, customer names, product descriptions, ticket subjects, or any situation where you don't have a complete text. Now, before we move on, I think this is the right opportunity for me to teach you something else. Let's say I don't want to search for just Amit Sharma. I have Amit Sharma, I have Amit Verma, I have Rohit Verma, Amit Kapoor. We have so many Amits here. What if I don't want just the first match? What if I want all the employees whose name contains Amit? And this is where you need to understand something very important. XLOOKUP is designed to return a lookup result, essentially one matching result. For multiple results, we are going to use another Excel function called filter. Let me write that for you as well. So let's see. We need Amit again, but we will write filter again, either focus here or focus in this area. Let's start. Is equal to filter bracket start. Now, where do we want to search? We want to search here. Comma is number, bracket again, search, bracket again. What are we supposed to search? We are supposed to search K3, bracket. Where do we want to search it? We want it to search it here. Bracket closed, comma, not found. Not very important, but does look professional if you write not found and enter. Now here, if you will see, it has given us the employee name and employee code of every Amit there. So not everything obviously can be solved through XLOOKUP, but I thought this is the right moment to explain the filter formula as well. Now what happens here? Excel searches every employee name for the word Amit. If it finds Amit anywhere in the name, that entry row qualifies. And now Excel spells all the matching employees as well. This is much more useful when you're working with the real world data. Maybe you want all employees from a particular department, all customers whose name contains a particular word, etc. etc. Now, here's one of my favorite XLOOKUP features. Let me create a slightly different situation. I have deliberately added some employee codes at different time as well. So from Rohit till Ishita, I have added one more time and changed the salary to what they originally had. This is to give you a real world example. Suppose we have a transaction log and the same employee appears multiple times because the employee has performed multiple transactions, or it can be any reason for that. Now, if I search for the employee, what will XLOOKUP return? It will give you the very first match, which is perfectly logical. But what if I don't want the first record? I want the latest record, the one which is now. So Ishita right now has this salary. Now, what if, let's search for Ishita one more time. She had a different salary before and a different salary now. Now, how do we do that? Again, it becomes another XLOOKUP feature. Let me show you. Is equals to XLOOKUP bracket start. We will check the employee code, comma. From here, what do we need? We need salary, comma again. Let's make it professional. Not found, comma. Exact match we need. So we'll put 0. But again, we'll put comma because we need search last to first. You see, it has one search first to last, second -1, which is search last to first. I'll put -1, bracket closed, and enter. Now let's test our theory. We will take, let's say, Sanjay. Now, Sanjay had a different salary before. Sanjay's first salary was different, and now it is different, as you can see. We will take the employee ID, paste, and see. It gives you the latest entry now. Now let's recap what all we have done so far. We checked that XLOOKUP can look left. So if you have watched part 1 and part 2, you now know much more than just the basic XLOOKUP formula. But there is still one very important problem we haven't solved. What happens when you have multiple conditions? For example, what if I don't just want to find an employee based on employee ID? What if I want to find an employee based on the employee ID and department, or product and region, or customer and date? That is where things get really interesting. And there's exactly what we are going to tackle in the next part. Subscribe to Office Cheat Codes, and I'll see you in the next one. Because remember, Excel isn't about memorizing formulas, it's about knowing which formula solves the problem in front of you. See you in the next one.